friends, this is Miss Stacy coming to you from Bricky McLeod Elementary School. Shout out to all my Bricky Bears out there, and I am so glad to be here with the rest of you today. First, if you're having any issues with this video, pause for a minute and make some adjustments. Ask an adult to help you if you need to. Real quickly, let's just define what engineers do. Quite simply, they design things that solve the world's problems. Now, I don't know why you'd ever need a pumpkin that opens and closes and lights up with a switch, but just in case you ever do, there it is. Today we're going to tackle a classic STEM challenge, the egg drop challenge. You're going to design a landing mechanism with found materials from around your house that will keep an egg safe when dropped from a distance. There's no right or wrong way to do this, and there are a million ways you can find on the internet, but I'm hoping you'll come up with all the ideas right here in your own melon, okay? So, let's get started. For this challenge, you're going to hear me refer to the engineering design process. This has 5 steps. We ask, imagine, plan, create, and improve. If you'll notice, all these steps go in a circle, so you can do this over and over again for as long as you want, or until you run out of eggs. First, you're going to ask, what are we trying to do? Why are we doing it? And what can we learn? More about that later. Then we're going to imagine, what will this invention look like? What are some possible real-world issues for our prototype? Then we'll plan. We'll collect materials, write down our steps, draw and label a diagram based on all the things we have to do this project with. And then we'll build and test our first prototype. After you get your results, you'll ask how you can improve this design and what variables can be changed. So the first step is to ask. That's right. Well, what kinds of questions should you ask? We know we need to design a lander that will keep an egg safe, but how are we going to do that? You might ask yourself where to find some materials around your house. Ask yourself what materials are best to keep your eggs safe. Ask your parents for permission before you use anything important. And you're also going to have to ask for a few raw eggs. The next step is, that's right, we imagine. How can this model that we make today be used to teach us something about engineering? What can engineers learn by making an egg lander and studying it? What real-life applications can you think of for a model like this? And what's this thing going to look like anyway? Here's some things I came up with. First of all, I like to shop a lot. And some companies are using drones to deliver packages to our homes. Now, that's a really fast and efficient idea. And so a lot of engineering went into this. It'd be really good if they could drop it without something breaking. The next thing I came up with was humanitarian aid. Now, lots of places in the world we can't really get to easily by conventional measures, so we have to get them food and supplies in other unconventional ways. Check this out. This airplane flies over these places and drops their supplies. Pretty cool, huh? Or maybe, just maybe, you're an aerospace engineer and you're designing a lander for the Mars rover. Or maybe a way to get supplies to the first colony on Mars. That'd be super awesome. Okay, before we begin, we've got to have an idea of what supplies you have around your house that we can use today. So, what I did was just looked around my house, yes, even in the garbage, and I got stuff that I thought might be good to keep my eggs safe in my project. Now pause this video while you roam around your house and go through your trash and look for supplies you can use in today's challenge. I'll be right here when you get back. And don't worry if you don't find everything you want. You can always go back for more later. Okay, it's time for the next step in the engineering design process. What was that? Yes, we have to plan. Okay, so get yourself some pencil and paper. Think about all the things you just collected in your house. And let's decide, what will it look like? Where will you put things? How will you attach all the things? And where will the egg go? Don't forget to label all these things on your paper so you'll know what they are when you start to build. Take a few minutes to pause this video and draw your design. I'll be right here when you get back. Okay, now we need to decide what makes an experiment an experiment. First, we're going to need some variables. Now that's a fancy word that just means the things that we can change in our experiment. Materials that we use, the height we drop it from, and the drop zone that we drop it on, like the surface that it lands on, are some of the things that I think of. Good scientists only change one variable at a time. That way we know that that thing is actually the thing we needed to tweak before we go on. If you changed everything in the experiment, it wouldn't be the same experiment at all. The next thing we need to think about is, what are we going to measure? In this case, it's pretty easy. We just need to know, did the egg break or did the lander keep it safe? Okay, do you want to see what I made? I made a very simple design. I was inspired by that drone delivery, and so I took one of the boxes that had been delivered to my house this week. I tucked the egg safely inside and then packed my materials around it. Then I took it outside, stood on the sidewalk, held it at arm's length, and I dropped it onto the concrete. Now notice my variables in this case are the materials that I used and the height that I dropped it from. I just held it straight out in front of me so that if I had to repeat this project, I could hold it in the same place. And I dropped it onto concrete. Let's see what happened. And this egg didn't fare so well. Time to go back to the drawing board. I had to think about the materials I had and what I could do. As I thought about the videos that we saw earlier, I saw a lot of these. Now, I didn't have materials to make a big fancy parachute, but I did have plastic bags. So I taped a plastic bag onto the top, took it outside, and dropped it again from the same spot and the same height. And here's what happened. Yes, my egg made it. Just because this was successful doesn't mean I'm done. It can always get better. I had to think of other variables I could change. Now think about it. My materials are working, so do I need to change those? No, but I could change the height that I drop it from. So I stepped up on the steps and dropped it again. Here's what happened. Yes, it worked. All right, so then I started to think, what other variables could I change? And I had an idea. I climbed up on my porch, the tallest place that I could go safely in my house. And then I dropped it again. Now let's see what happened. That was a long way. Ew, not so good that time. But that's okay. I learned a lot, I had some fun, and now I'm out of eggs. I hope you had fun watching this video. I had a lot of fun making it. And before you go start to build your own new and exciting egg lander, I've got a few things I want to share with you first. So take note. We would love to see your projects. Take a minute to share with us on social media if your parents say it's okay. And just a word before you go. I want you to remember that all of your teachers love you, and we can't wait to hear about the fun and exciting things you've taught yourself to do this summer. I hope that you're journaling and writing about these thoughts and the things that you're doing. The world is changing every day, and you are living history right now. Whatever you're up to, I hope you had fun today, and I hope you make your brain grow and keep your mind strong each and every day. Have fun, kids, and dream big.